Welcome back to the Mad Dog Farm. I'm going to start off just doing little farm vlogs on the farm channel. I'm going to keep scheduling videos for Mondays and Thursdays, but in between, if we do a little bit, and I'll take the action cam with us, just show you what's going on, what we're getting up to. Today something has arrived in the post. I'll be doing the main video of that over on Ben's garage because it's mechanicking. But we've got 37 kilos of life and goodness. Probably doesn't mean anything to most of you, but anyway, we got a new engine for the flower mower. 13 horsepower, life and electric start. 37 kilos, so it's quite heavy. I'll take you over there and show you that in a minute. We'll show you what's growing in the other room, and then we're going to go outside. I've got some measurements to do on the tractor. Some of you suggested some companies to have a look at for tractor parts, probably over on the Ben's Garage channel when I asked help sourcing parts. I've got in touch with one chap, I can't remember the name of the company now, but I'll put a link in the description. Getting the steering wheel. I've just got to take the steering wheel off and do some measurements of the splines and the threads and all that kind of thing and see if he can match it up. So we're going to go outside and do that. And while we're out there, I'll show you what we got growing, and I'll show you what Tina got up to yesterday on the serre de jardin. Jardin. That's what they're called, isn't it? Serre de jardin. Greenhouse to you lot. But yeah, so I'll just take you over here, show this engine quickly. Not quite sure how we're going to get it outside yet because don't want Tina busting a gut, do we? No. What we might do is get it to the door, strap it up somehow, and I'll come along with the digger, hook it on the bucket, and we'll just pick it up and take it up there. I want to run it up first, but before that, we've been interrupted by GLS, so I'll come back when she's gone. The delivery driver left it on the bird table. Tina's just gone out to get it.
It just feels so weird, doesn't it?
Who's it addressed to?
Oh, yeah, you.
Oh, I've got a parcel. Shall I open it live on camera? Have you got a knife, please?
The hair should have been here yesterday by GLS.
Ooh.
You sure nothing went in the post box?
No, he drove straight past.
I'm going to go and double check in case.
That's not a knife. That's a knife. Well, Tina really can say that now, because... Got her a little present the other day. This was a Christmas present, but this is just a random present. Now that's a knife. Walnut handle. That's heavy as well, isn't it?
Very.
It's quite sturdy. It's a bit of a survival knife, made by Walther. Nice sharp blade. Thing there, serrated edge. Very nice. Comes in a little holster pouch jobby thing.
And it's mine.
And it's Tina's. Oh look, that's what's turned up in the post today.
Oh, mushroom. That's another job.
Yeah, I don't know, you're going to have to get up on the roof today. Now, we've got the vent in the bathroom. Dad's plumbed it up so it goes out through the roof. When the rain and wind is in a certain direction, the rain comes down the pipe and through the vent into the bathroom. So we've got this pipe here, 100mm, well, it's for a 100mm pipe. In fact, while I'm here, sorry, these vlogs are going to be quite random, but day-to-day life on the farm. Oh, bloody hell. Inside diameter we want.
I've got a piece of the fibre.
That's just over 100mm, so that should fit on quite nice. And that will hopefully stop any rain coming down the chimney? Down the pipe, the vent pipe I should say. Here's a bit we prepared earlier. It's cut a bit funny. Whee! Sorry about that. That's the pipe we've got in the thing. Oh, look at that! that'll be nice and easy. So what we can do is probably run a bit of silicone around the inside. Tina can go up. Dad's put like a wire cage on top of it to stop the birds going in it and nesting and stuff. Pull the cage bit out, bit of silicone in there, bish bash bosh, jobs are good, and we won't get any rain problems after that. I think that's just a filter.
I've got to get that mud off.
So that's that. I'll take you over here now, show you this engine, then I'll just quickly show you in there what we've got growing. It's a funny way of folding this knife up. There's a thing just there and you push it to the side. Very good.
And that's also mine.
That's also Tina. I have got one like that. Right, I'll see you over here. So there we go, a Lifan LF390 QE Pro. So that's going to be good for the flower mower. It's the Pro heavy duty version. The fuel tank's suspended on rubber things, the exhaust pipe's bolted on so it won't come off. It's got a heavy duty crankcase and it's heavy duty throughout, so it should be a really good replacement for the engine that's on the flower mower. I'll take you through into here now. So we're in this room now. This is a bit of a storage cum whatever room, so this is not how it's going to end up, hopefully. But we've got all the chilies growing under here, look. They're doing quite nicely. They're under the grow light. I've not got the heat mat on, but the grow light, we're feeding them a little bit of Canna Start. And over here, under the light over here, let's have another quick look. We've got a lot of stuff growing, plus all the stuff we got outside. So there we go. Tomatoes up the side and at the front, jalapenos, red peppers, celery and squash. I've got to pot the tomatoes on looking at that lot. So in a couple of days or so I shall separate the tomatoes and put them in their own separate pots. We're probably going to be planting them directly into the ground when they've got big enough and putting stakes in. We don't need to be putting those in the greenhouse because they'll do perfectly well outside. The chilies on the other hand will be going in the greenhouse. They'll be going in the auto pots, which if you look back on some of our old videos, 2017 time, you'll see that we use the auto pot system for the chilies and they went wild. About 5 foot tall, some of them. So that's it for indoors. We'll see you outside. So I'm going to make a start out here on the tractor. Hopefully you can hear me. The wind has just dropped. It's been a bit blowy actually. We'll get this done because what we'll need to do is measure the nut so Tina can get the right size socket, because I've got a big 3/4 drive socket set. She doesn't want to carry that all the way up here, so she just wants to go and get the right size socket. So I'll turn you around and hopefully I can get the calipers down enough to measure the nut, and then she can go and get... What's that? Oh, Jesus. If you can hear that in the background, I thought it was something dying or something. But Tina's doing the trick with the blade of grass. I'll turn you around here and we'll have a look at this nut on the steering. I hope the wind doesn't pick up too much, because at the moment you'll probably hear me. It's quite straightforward. Just unscrew this in the middle. It's right at the top, look. So there's that, which is quite handy because my calipers are seized up. Push that in there. .22mm. So Tina has been to the Toolbox of Dreams. Got us a 22mm socket and a breaker bar. So let's turn you around here and we'll have a look at what's going on. Luckily it's not too tight. We have had this off before. Here's a little tip for you. When you're taking the steering wheel off, undo the nut, take all your washers off, but put your nut back on. Because if you're sat on there pulling it, you quite often take your teeth out, because it'll come on all of a sudden. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let me just give it a bit of persuasion. That's it.
It's only the baker.
Yeah, I heard him, bib.
The boulanger.
Oi! It's full of water. Bastard.
What?
I've got wet.
You got dripped on.
So that pretty much concludes the steering wheel measurements. I can get those drawn up and send them to him and see if he can match something up for us. And we'll get a nice round steering wheel. Because I don't know if you remember the Austin Allegro. It's looking a little bit like that. Anyway, we'll get that back on, and I don't suppose it matters which. It's only temporary to go back on, so it can go in any direction. If we can get a new one, and yeah, if we can get one that fits, I'll set it up when I'm sat on it, so we can get the steering wheel straight. But for now, that'll do. That'll do, donkey. Oh, you bugger. Don't need to go too tight with that. Screw the centre back on so we don't lose it. Now, as I've said in previous videos, this tractor is exactly the same as the Mitsubishi D1600. This is the Suzu M1600, but it is a Mitsubishi. As I've said in other videos, Suzu was a cooperative in Japan that were buying up all cheap, any cheap make of tractor, sticking their own badges on it and flogging it on. This particular time, early 80s, they were buying Mitsubishi tractors, putting the Suzu badge on it, and away they went, sort of thing. So that's one of the reasons I've not been able to find any parts, but we know what engine it is. We're getting somewhere. So that's it for the tractor. I'll show you what's been going on in the garden. So we're over to the vegetable patch. I hope you can hear me. The wind, it drops and then it keeps picking up again. So that's going to slow Tina's little job up this afternoon. I'll show you what she's been getting up to over there in a minute. But I dug her another bed the other day because she's ordered some berries, gooseberries and all that kind of thing. They turned up. So she said, I need a bed to put them in. Then the nurse came round. Well, she phoned up first and said, do you want some more strawberry plants? Now Tina has put... Oh, look at this for driving. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Fence, mate, fence. Look, he can't drive. Can't drive for shit. Don't think he's got a licence. That is how not to reverse. It's a T-junction. You could almost do a U in there, it's that big. But he put it in the ditch on one side, and then he reversed into our fence, and then had to do another turn. Anyway, bad drivers. So yeah, the nurse phoned up. Tina's been putting strawberries in hanging baskets, because we had them in hanging baskets at the old house, and they did quite well. The nurse has dropped us off some other strawberries. I don't know if they're what variety they are, but she said they are very, very nice. So Tina, I dug her a bed the other day, she came out, raked it all over. They're looking a little bit sorry for themselves today, but they have been watered in quite well because we had a big old thunderstorm last night. So here's the strawberries. I'll show you over there. I'm not going to go over there because it's hard work in the wheelchair, but we got the two furthest rows. We've got potatoes, beetroot and onions growing, and then we've got a bed. The next bed has got onions and then nothing in the half, and then this one's ready for stuff to go in. We've got all that stuff indoors that I showed you, so I'll just quickly show you that. And I cut the grass yesterday. We like to keep this bit of grass cut that's just round by the house and down the back of the house, and then I do 4 laps of the field. But I've got a video of that coming out at some point, so I won't go into that too much. But we'll just go up here and I'll show you what Tina's been up to yesterday. Yesterday after lunch we came out. I got on the digger, did some excavating. I'll just quickly show you what Tina's been up to. The greenhouse. Now, we'd already got the base set in and I dug a trench and it was sat nicely. But like a pillock, I put all the dirt on the inside.
I'm not putting it back in there.
No. Yeah, like a pillock, I put all the dirt on the inside and I thought to myself, when she gets it all built up, how are we going to get it out? And so Tina would have to have done it by hand. So I said to her, if I dig it all out, and then we've had a bit of a conflab. We was going to have a dirt floor in there, but we're going to get it all built up, make sure it's all square. We've got the ground anchors in the ground, which was another story, but that's all done. We've got the threaded bar. So we can fix the base so the wind doesn't take the greenhouse away. We'll get it all built up because we want a bit of a concrete threshold so that I can get in through the door and inside the greenhouse. But we're going to calcare the base. We're going to put a membrane down, put calcare in it, get it level, whack it down with a whacker plate, and hopefully that'll be a solid enough floor for me to get in there on the wheelchair. I noticed on Mum and Dad's that he's just done it straight onto the grass. I'm assuming they're going to put something down on the grass because you don't want to be streaming inside your greenhouse, do you? But we're going to combat that, and we're going to because we've got to get some chalk calcare for the garage, so another few extra ton isn't going to be that expensive, so we can get some membrane down in the bottom. Well, we'll get the base, all this floor levelled out. I'll just quickly show you again. We'll get all that floor levelled out, take the high spots out, lay some membrane down in it, calcare in the bottom, chalk to anyone else apart from the French. Whacker it down, and that should be a good solid floor. But yeah, Tina's got the corners on, she's got the rails round the sides. She was going to do a bit more today, but doing it on your own, I mean, there's only so much I can do to help her sat in the wheelchair. But when it keeps gusting and it keeps knocking stuff out of her hands, so she's going to not bother today and try it another day when I'll get out here. That's what that grabber thing was. I can grab stuff and hold it, and hopefully. But yeah, we're getting there. We need to get the greenhouse done so we can get the chilies out and get them in the auto pots. That's a video for another day. But we'll go over here. We'll go over there and see what else we've got growing. I won't go all around there, but I'll just show you in the pots where the potatoes are. And bits and pieces over here. So let's see you over there. We're over here. Hang on. A bit high up there. All right, Ludo. We've got 3 vegetable beds here. We've got cabbages and broccoli over there, Brussels sprouts I should say, and other stuff that's Tina's planted. I can't remember what they all are. But in this bed we've got spring onions down there. These are garlics, ordinary garlics. That end we got elephant garlic, and then we've got more spring onions over there. They're all doing nicely. And then to our right hand side we've got 4 bins, and each bin has got 6 potato plants in it. Look at these. They've done super well. The ones in the ground are coming up well. Now, I've seen a lot of people, whether you hill them up or whether you don't hill them up, a lot of people do and some people don't. People that don't do it say that they've not noticed, or they've had more than enough potatoes. I've put more dirt in the bins, but only up to a certain amount. I think the way that the foliage is in the bin, the sun's not going to really get, if any tubers sort of stick out the ground, which I don't think they will because they're quite deep in there, but if they do, the sun isn't really going to get on them because the foliage is all sort of compact and tight in. The potatoes in the ground, on the other hand, because they're spaced a bit further apart, the sun can get to the roots and, you know, the shoots and the tubers and everything. So when they get, the ones in the right hand bed probably will need hilling up in the next few days, but we will have to keep on top of those. I have just ordered some more seed potatoes because these are going to be ready sort of, I don't know when they're going to be ready, to be honest, but say if these are ready end of the summer, we want some potatoes to do us through the winter as well. So I've ordered some different varieties. I've ordered some Charlotte, and I can't remember what the other sort are, but they're good for all. They're a general potato, good for all sorts. These ones here, we've got Linda and Lander. One of them is like an old heirloom variety, which it was advertised as the long lost potato, which everybody absolutely raves about, but I can't remember if that's the Linda or the Lander. Anyway, we've got those two. I'm really looking forward to trying them. Really looking forward to trying these garlic, because I don't think I've ever had homegrown garlic. I've only ever had the garlic out of the shop, but everything is all coming along quite nicely. Although if you can hear the crickets, they've been going for a few weeks now, haven't they? Yeah.
Recently, the last few days, all the time.
But it really feels like summer when the crickets all start up. They're constant at the moment. I don't know if you can see in the field, it's all nice wildflowers, buttercups, daisies, whatever they are. We're just letting it grow long. So I've cut 4 runs around the outside. So we're getting plenty of butterflies and insects and all that kind of thing. We don't want too many butterflies at this end of the garden because of the greens, the brassicas and all that kind of thing.
Our volunteers are still alive.
Oh, we've got some volunteer. The cabbage and the Brussels that we couldn't fit in the bed up here, or we had too many of, I dug a trench from the oak tree along there so Tina could plant all her wildflower seeds and stuff. We've been putting any extra vegetables down there. If they grow and fruit, all well and good, we can go down and harvest them. But hopefully, you know, all the butterflies will go down there because that's where all the meadow is. So just a bit of a thing that we're trying out. But we're going to build a bit of a framework up around this lot, because you did order a net, didn't you?
Yeah, but it's not going to be here for a while.
No, we've ordered a net, but we don't know when it's going to get here.
We've got loads of those though for now.
But yeah, so everything is coming along really well. And when I was cutting the grass around the other day, I was just poodling around like you do, thinking to myself, it's the best thing we ever did buying this place. There you go. So that's about it for this little vlog. I'll probably release some midweek or that whenever we're doing stuff. I'm just having a bit of a toodle around today. Not really that productive, but so I've got my measurements of the steering wheel now, so that can all be, I can email that off to him and see what's going on. And that's about it really. So hope you liked this video. Please click the thumbs up if you did. Share the video amongst your friends and family. That's all good. And subscribe if you haven't already. From me and the Hobbit over here.
You just said you didn't look at the strawberries.
I did. Oh, what, on the camera?
Doesn't matter. I just thought if you're not going out this way, I can look it
Yeah.
up.
So from me and the Hobbit over there, it's bye for now.